Less than 1 million years old, an infant in geological terms, Mauna Loa has grown to almost 14,000 feet above sea level, making it the tallest active volcano on the planet. 60 miles wide at its widest point, its name translates as Long Mountain.
Mauna Loa covers approximately 51% of the surface area of the island of Hawaii, which makes Mauna Loa almost larger than all the other Hawaiian islands put together as far as surface area.
Yet this is only a fraction of its total size.
What most people don't appreciate is that this structure extends below sea level. So if you follow that to the sea floor and calculate the volume of that particular volcano, Mauna Loa, it is indeed by far the largest volcano in the world.
The distance to the ocean floor adds another 14,000 feet. But there's even more. Mauna Loa protrudes an additional 26,000 feet into the Earth's crust.
The mountain is actually pushing down on the ocean crust and causing it to sag under the weight of the mountain.
The weight has even caused parts of the island to collapse into the sea.
All Hawaiian volcanoes, in fact, have a tendency to fall apart as they grow larger and larger. And Mauna Loa is no exception. It's had a number of large landslides where the volcano has failed catastrophically and released huge amounts of debris into the ocean.
Alika 2, the biggest of these landslides, occurred roughly 100,000 years ago.
It's postulated that there was a large tsunami generated from all this material falling into the water.
Though it's been greatly debated, the waves may have been strong enough to hit the coasts of both Japan and North America. If a similar event happened today, some scientists say 300-foot waves could drown Los Angeles in a matter of hours. However, such a collapse isn't expected for at least another 10,000 years.
Events of this nature are so rare and happen so infrequently, and it's almost mind-boggling to believe that a large piece of land can detach itself. If you happen to worry about lightning strikes, then you might worry about an Alika 2.
Volcanologists have their hands full just in studying Mauna Loa's eruptive history and accompanying earthquakes. Since a more detailed record began in 1832, Mauna Loa has erupted an astounding 39 more times. Most of Mauna Loa's eruptions in the last 150 years have begun at eruption sites, also called vents, near the volcano's remote cloud-covered summit.
Well, most eruptions from Hawaiian volcanoes, and Mauna Loa included, usually start out with fissures that open up, and you get what we call just a curtain of fire as lava seems to fountain along a long stretch of fissure that can be miles long. Over time, this fissure tends to focus at a single point, and that's where most of the fountaining and activity is concentrated.
The area around these fractures is called a rift zone, and it determines the direction the lava will flow. Whichever way that is, it's going to be fast, because Mauna Loa's steep slopes cause lava to travel as quickly as 9 feet per second.
In the last eruption of Mauna Loa in 1984, Mauna Loa was putting out 1 million cubic meters per hour, so things happen quickly.
In that eruption, the lava flowed in a different direction than it had in 1868 and 1950.
And the 1984 eruption erupted in the caldera before moving into the North Rift and sending lava flows down towards Hilo. They stopped several miles short of the town, but it was a reminder of the potential for lava to flow right into the largest city on the island.
16 square miles of land were paved with lava in just 3 weeks. Fortunately, most of the property buried by lava in 1984 was uninhabited land owned by the state. Had the eruption been bigger, it might have put 40,000 people in serious jeopardy.
There's some radial vents on the north side of Mauna Loa that historically have sent lava down towards the Kohala coast, which is a very large resort area. And then anything along the south rift zone could send lava into communities that are south of Kailua Kona. So the reason we worry about Mauna Loa so much is the potential to have eruptions that might affect many different portions of the island, and just about all of which are populated.
But the 1984 event also demonstrated something just as disconcerting, that eruptions could come from more than one volcano at the same time.
The 1984 eruption of Mauna Loa was noteworthy in the sense that, yes, both Mauna Loa and Kilauea erupted.
It's proof that literally anything can happen on the Big Island.
It's all completely ridiculous. You could have a Mauna Loa, Kilauea, and Walalai at the same time. It's possible.
There's been at least $3 billion in property development just since 1984, and the tourist industry has exploded. Yet the main escape route for any eruption remains a single highway which encircles the island. A major eruption would undoubtedly destroy the economy of the tiny island, not to mention the cost in human life.
Well, the entire population of the Big Island is something on the order of 150,000 people, not counting tourists. Counting the tourists as well as the residents, we're talking, in any given scenario, let's say, thousands of people could be at risk.